Huckabay ISD is located just north of Stephenville, Texas, and has earned a reputation for outstanding academic success. With achievement in their UIL, FFA, and other school-sponsored events, the principal, West Corzine, is always willing to support his students in any way that he can. Huckabay ISD is also a Title I school with approximately 235 students in attendance in 2018. With a student-to-teacher ratio of 12:1, Huckabay also has approximately 56 students that are economically disadvantaged. With accountability ratings in the top 25% in comparative academic growth and top 25% in comparative closing the gaps based on their STAR testing scores for the district, Huckabay ISD is a friendly and successful school. The community is a very strong impact on the student and staff of Huckabay ISD. With 25 support members in the school, you are always greeted with a friendly and warm welcome when you come to Huckabay ISD. These friendly faces can not only be found in the community, but inside of the school, in the bilingual and ESL programs, the CTE program, the Gifted and Talented program, and the special education programs offered at Huckabay ISD. Inside Miss Daniels' 6th grade English class, the class was expected to uphold the golden rule to treat others the way you want to be treated. The classroom is also arranged in rows, but the classroom atmosphere is strongly based on group discussions, as we usually read a story from the textbook on Mondays, with a class discussion following the readings. This became not a task, but a routine to make the readings fun for the students. As soon as you walk into Huckabay ISD, you see a massive display case that showcases all of the students' success and achievements. Parental involvement is not only seen in the school activities, but specifically in each of my tutees. Each of my 3 tutees are highly involved with family practices and responsibilities. Being in a small agriculture-based community, you become aware that each student also has responsibilities that must be accomplished before getting to their favorite hobbies. With varying interests, the 3 tutees like everything from camping to riding dirt bikes together to even playing video games after school with their parents and friends. Each of my students are extremely kinesthetic learners in the classroom, so the use of Chromebooks is highly valuable when students are able to type their notes and follow along with stories online. All 3 of the boys learn in highly different ways, but with the common learning style of kinesthetic learning, students are able to be exposed to their different cultures and learning needs. Each student's skill level is varied drastically based on the story or lesson that is being presented. Another beneficial learning style is having group discussions to allow the tutees to talk and to be involved in the lesson each week. Keeping 10-year-olds focused on reading can become a bit of a task. Although not diagnosed with ADHD, one of my tutees shows signs he could be, so in a class of 15, he becomes easily distracted. That is why we participate in a lot of group discussions to check for understanding each week. Mrs. Daniels had the opportunity to also be the 5th grade English teacher for her class the previous year, so she easily understood that the students' learning styles vary in the classroom. That is why we read out of the textbooks on Monday and have some sort of flow chart to allow the students to take notes throughout the story. Mrs. Daniels observed that a lot of students are visual learners but lose focus. This is where the journal takes place to check for understanding in the classroom. Not only the use of Chromebooks and textbooks for student resources, each classroom at Huckabay has at least 4 desktop computers for their students to use since the school is not a 1-to-1 ratio. Each of them love the computers and to be outside, so some days we would read outside for a change of scenery. If it wasn't for our discussions on the computers, I would have never learned this about them, and that is what gave me the idea to use the computers and changing of scenery. Repetition is a common theme in Mrs. Daniels' classroom by always asking students questions, and at the end of the lesson we review the new things that we learned that day. Although you cannot become extremely personal with the students while reading a textbook, the emotional states of each student is highly important to the learning environment, so by talking with my tutees one-on-one throughout the readings, we try to make personal connections to the story for better understanding. Although working in groups and having small group discussions is valuable in our visits to Huckabay, sometimes independent practice is valued to test the students' understanding of the material covered in our tutoring sessions. Sometimes we would all work independently and then discuss at the end of the story to compare the notes to see each other's understandings and interpretations of the story. This allows us to check for understanding of the material. Just like the school saying says, one community, one school, one tribe, Huckabay ISD is a team and truly is a place students are valued and always feel special in their successes.